wing, which is not as nice as this, but don't tell anybody. And I got out of my car to go and tour the place, and there was a gentleman sitting in a car next to where I got out. And he looked at me, I looked at him, and I nodded, and he nodded, and I went in, I did my tour, I came back out, and he was still there. And he had the window down a little bit. And I said, "Hi, how you doing?" And he said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Are you here to do a tour?" He said, "No, I'm here because I need food for my family. And when I saw you, I felt embarrassed, and I didn't go in, which made me feel horrible. But it made me also understand, that this is difficult. Yeah. And so as we come up with these solutions, I know what to expect from my friends on the right. But I also worry about some of my friends, on the good side, who will say, "Okay, I know what's best for everybody, so I'm going to limit your choices. Here's your SNAP dollars, and so you can only buy, organic. Blah, 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 blah. We want you to make good choices, but that's your choice. Some of the worst choices made in terms of diet are by people of means. Look at the previous president of the right. So the bottom line. So we don't. The dignity part of this is really important. And Chris, when I visited, with you guys a year ago, I appreciate the respect and the dignity and just this is. We're a community, right? And communities help one another. And sometimes you won't need help very much, all the time. But once you're on your feet, then you help somebody else. It's just the way it's supposed to be. It's not a handout. It's not. I don't even like to call it charity, right? It's we have to deal with stigmatization, and we have to make sure that as whatever the White House comes up with, that it respects the community who we're trying to benefit. When I was a kid growing up, when they do the food drives, you'd always take the junkiest junk in your shelf and put it out for the food bank to pick up. And that was the way it was, right? Thankfully, the food banks of today are connecting the dots. What you eat goes to your health and well-being. So we don't want to solve one problem to create another. So it's all very, very different, and that's all good. But
I want to just say about you, though, because I've been to your district, I've seen your interaction with your constituents, whether it was at a child care center or some other service into the community. And while I talked about him globally and nationally in the Congress, he practiced what he preaches back home and listens to his constituents, and that's why he's become the champion that he is on these issues in the manner in which he has. He's revered in the Congress, he's respected back home, and he's acknowledged as a leader not only in our country but in the world. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Well, you're nice to say that, but let's be very clear about one thing. She's Speaker of the House, right? And nothing happened. We wouldn't even have. We tried when President Obama was president to get this up and running, right? And and I love President Obama, loved all the people, and we had some interesting conversations. But the idea of tackling this head on, we just couldn't get the movement that we needed. And then we had 4 years of which we're going to forget about, which we're not going to, we tried, and we worked it. It wasn't until the Speaker picked up the phone and said, "Look, you got to do this. This is important. It's unacceptable that 40 million people are hungry in this country. And by the way, we have people in our community who are doing great work that if we could expand it or be wind at their back, we could solve this problem. So get with it." And so now the issue is we have to they're doing it, they're listening. We have to make sure that there's an expectation that we expect big things from them, and that this is not a one and done deal, that it's not a press conference, that there's consultation at the local level, because to be honest with you, San Francisco is different from Worcester, is different from Mitchell, South Dakota, right? That's the other thing. I got to be honest with you, our benefit program, one glove fits all. You live in Mitchell, South Dakota, your cost of living is X. You live in San Francisco, or you live in Boston or Manhattan, and you're still, you adhere to the same criteria for SNAP benefits or anything else. It doesn't make any sense. right? So we got to, a lot of this stuff has to be, we have to think out of the box. And that's what this is going to be about. So we really need we need to stay in touch with you. We need to be part of this. And again, some of the, and please thank Aisha for her testimony before the Rules Committee. I'm going to tell you two things. One is it was very powerful because of what you're doing. And, it's also, and this is, sometimes it takes people who are well-known to take a microphone and say, hey, let's do something. Yeah. It helps. And Congress is a place where, it doesn't matter why you're famous. They gravitate to you, they people want to be associated with, but people using their status and their, to be able to advocate, for people who really don't have a voice.
If I just may follow up on that, Mr. Chairman, and thank the Currys for bringing their celebrity. We're all in the attraction business. We think we are. They are. And we can only attract so much attention to an idea. They can magically do so. This is going to sound, well, you be the judge. A conference on hunger in America can be translated by some to a conference on poverty in America. So there are some in the Congress who don't think that poverty is a winning political idea. So what we're doing with this conference, and why I'm so proud of the President and the Chairman for demanding and insisting upon it, is that we are crossing a threshold. We're honoring our values, whatever the political consequences are. Maybe it's a bigger deal to have a conference on sports or something like that. This is saying to the country, this is our priority. You may or may not experience this. You may or may not be turned on this, but this is the priority. It's a big departure from saying, what's the most politically advantageous conference we can have? Mm-hmm. It's about what is the most decent, godlike, doing the Lord's work conference we can have, whatever the political consequences, but with the results that are with the results that we need for the people. So that's why your participation, your input going into it, your implementation coming out of it is so really important, because this is a transition for us, for our country, to be saying this is of the highest priority to America, regardless of the politics. So thank you for what you do.
Speaker Pelosi, Chair McGovern, all of our panelists, this is a clear clarion call that food is everything and it is a human right. We're going to take this message straight to the White House, because we will take this moonshot that it is not acceptable to manage hunger. We must end it. Thank you all so much.
I thank San Francisco Marin for